Yeah, okay, right. The committee will come to order. We are reconvening the meeting from yesterday on consideration of the expedited line item Veto and Rescissions Act of 2011, and the chair will be in receipt of a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee grant H.R. 3521, the expedited line item Veto and Rescissions Act of 2011, a structured rule. The rule provides 1 hour of general debate equally divided among and controlled by the chair and ranking minority member of the Committee on the Budget and Representative Simpson of Idaho or his designee. The rule waives all points of order against consideration of the bill. The rule makes an order as original text for purpose of amendment, the amendment in the nature of a substitute, consisting of the text of Rules Committee Print 112-12 and provides that it shall be considered as read. The rule waives all points of order against the amendment in the nature of a substitute made in order as original text. The rule makes in order only those amendments printed in the Rules Committee report accompanying the resolution. Each such amendment may be offered only in the order printed in the report, may be offered only by a member designated in the report, shall be considered as read, shall be debatable for the time specified in the report, equally divided and controlled by the proponent and an opponent, shall not be subject to amendment, and shall not be subject to a demand for division of the question. The rule waives all points of order against the amendments printed in the Rules Committee report. The rule provides one motion to recommit with or without instructions. Finally, the rule provides that it shall be in order at any time during the legislative day of February 9, 2012, for the Speaker to entertain motions that the House suspend the rules as though under Clause 1C of Rule 15 relating to a measure addressing securities trading based on non-public information.
You've heard the motion of the gentlewoman from Grandfather Community. Let me explain the rule briefly, and then we'll see if there are any amendments to the rule. This is a structured rule. We've made in order all of the amendments that are in order. We have a Democratic amendment and one bipartisan amendment. The other amendments were non-germane, and two of the amendments were withdrawn. This provides also, as the gentlewoman has said, for suspension authority for the House to deal with the Stock Act. And the reason for the suspension authority is we want to give our leadership the maximum amount of flexibility in responding to the Senate bill, which passed. So, any amendments to the rule, Ms. Slaughter?
I'd like to make a short statement, if I may. I mean, this is the culmination of 6 years of my work, and ended up with a backroom deal here that we weren't even privy to. I have no idea what is going to come up in that amendment tomorrow. The purpose of what we're doing is not that we think our colleagues are all dishonest or doing awful things. It was that some were, and that most of us don't want to work in an atmosphere where that is the kind of situation that we would be working in. And I know I don't want to, and we were trying to clean it up for that purpose. I'm terribly disappointed that we have enough, I think, was it 99 Republican co-sponsors, and I assume we're perfectly willing to vote for the bill that they signed on to. The fact that we don't have a chance to put that up, I think, is a process at its worst. We don't understand why it was so necessary to manipulate this bill. We do know that K Street has been aroused there, and that we are hearing a lot from them now. They're very worried, particularly on the political intelligence piece, which I imagine will not come here, but I'm gratified that it is in the Senate bill. But I don't know if I can explain my displeasure so I think I'll just let it go at this, that I don't think I've been as badly treated or seen legislation as badly handled in all the years I've been here. I do have a motion. I have an amendment to the rule, and I move to strike the suspension authority from the rule.
You've heard the motion of the gentlewoman. The vote occurs in the Slaughter amendment.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like an opportunity to yeah. I want to associate myself with the remarks and the frustrations of our ranking member. This rule represents a heavy hand, even for this leadership. The Stock Act is not, a minor piece of legislation. It's not something that would normally be considered to be eligible for a suspension calendar. I mean, members may have some ideas on this and may want to may offer amendments, or under this procedure, we're not even given the right to a motion to recommit. I get it. You're in control. You can do whatever you want, but this is really shutting down the process in an extraordinary way on a very important piece of legislation, and we have no idea what that legislation looks like right now. And when we see it, if we want to make any changes to it or make any suggestions, we'll have no opportunity. And to the best of our knowledge, nobody on our side of the aisle has been consulted on this. So I strongly support the gentlelady's amendment. I think this is a lousy way to do business, and I hope that this rule is defeated and we go back to regular order when it comes to this important piece of legislation.
Mr. Polis. Sorry, I didn't see your hand up. Mr. Hastings, let's go to Mr. Hastings by seniority, then we'll go to Mr. Polis. Mr. Hastings.
That's fine. I know you want. I'll be happy to defer to seniority.
Oh, thanks a lot. Mr. Chairman, do we have the text of this measure?
Of which measure?
The Stock Act.
Well, we don't have it available. It clearly will be made available. The goal is to have it filed. We hope this is Tuesday, and as you know, we have suspension authority that exists for tomorrow, and this measure would not be considered for 2 days. So we clearly will have it available to members before we have the vote on it. We hope 24 hours before, which is the
Am I correct?
procedure for consideration of these measures.
Am I correct that in Mr. Bacchus's committee, a hearing was scheduled, and then that hearing was canceled, and so
No, we held the hearing, but the markup
markup was canceled? So the bill hadn't been marked up?
No, 60 days ago.
So if people like you, who have been working on this for 6 years, had ideas or input, you don't have that opportunity at this point. Mr. Chairman, you think that's right?
Well, obviously there is a great desire on the part of members to deal with this problem. The Senate has taken action, and they have sent the measure here. And we know that the Senate bill is different than the original Stock Act as it was introduced, and trying to deal with a difficult issue is not always easy. And I will admit this would not be my first choice for dealing with this.
Yeah, well, I don't consider it such a difficult thing. I mean, the Washington Post took it upon themselves to weigh in with members all over the place, much of which I disagree with. But at the very same time, books are coming out. There's one book from the fellow named Swikert on Throw Them All Out, I think is the title of it. It makes me uncomfortable not having at least an opportunity before voting here today to have reviewed what the substantive text of this measure on the Stock Act is going to be. But as Mr. McGovern said, and I echo his and Ms. Slaughter's sentiments, you have the power. I think you're exercising it in a much too heavy-handed manner. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Well, let me just respond again by saying that all we're doing here at this point is extending by 1 day the suspension authority. And we want to make sure that members have an opportunity to see this before it is voted on. It's our hope to have it 24 hours before this is voted on.
Chairman,
sure,
just when you open with the explanation, you said that the reason that was being done was so that the leadership would have an opportunity to have flexibility.
Right. And that's between.
Explain that to me again.
Well, I just did, and I said that the gentleman asked for a copy of it, and it's not available yet. It's not ready yet. It will be available, and our plan is to have it 24 hours, at least 24 hours before it's voted on the House floor.
All right. Thank you,
Mr. Polis.
Yeah, again, I'm a co-sponsor of the Stock Act, and our ranking member, Ms. Slaughter, has been working on this for a number of years. And I don't think if something else that none of us have seen is put up, are they going to call that the Stock Act without having be related to what is the Stock Act that many of us are co-sponsors of? I mean, it could be some totally unrelated measure that they're going to try to take the name of an important bill that there's a groundswell of support for, rightfully so. Many of our constituents are calling in. But we have no idea what this new bill, which is not the Stock Act, it's going to be something else, will even do. So, I mean, are they going to try to appropriate the name of the Stock Act for this proposed action would be my question to the chair.
When I at the outset, I said the Senate has passed this legislation. I mean, a form of this legislation, as we know. It was passed overwhelmingly in the Senate, and we are looking to bring a measure up here in the House. And when I said flexibility, we hope very much that the bill will be made available this evening. I mean, that's what our hope would be. We hope to have it available this evening, and obviously, as we proceed, I mean, I understand that the Minority Leader, Ms. Pelosi, has had input into this process so far, and so I think that there are...
When did Ms. Pelosi have input?
It's just my understanding that she has been...
She would have told me that. We discuss this fairly often. She has said not a word about having any idea what's going on.
Let me just say,
Sure.
let me just explain again what we're doing here. What we're doing is simply providing an additional day, which is Thursday, for the consideration of measures under suspension of the rules, and it's designed to address many of these very valid questions that are being raised here. And I believe that as we look to Thursday, today's Tuesday, and I think that if we hope very much that the bill can be put together by this evening. That's our goal. We want to have that happen, and obviously there is an opportunity for input in this process, and I'm sure that any recommendations or proposals that anyone would like to offer would certainly be welcome.
Who do we offer those to?
I mean, we can.
Mr. Chair.
You can give them to me. You can
Okay.
give them to anyone that you would like.
I would propose that we stick as closely as possible to the text of Ms. Slaughter's bill that she's been working on for 6 years and has a large number of bipartisan sponsors.
Thank you very much for that recommendation. I appreciate it, Mr. McGovern.
Yeah, I mean, to say that we're going to have input in this process is ridiculous. We're not. I mean, the way this is being brought up is designed to specifically make sure there's no input. I mean, there will not even be a motion to recommit. But I just want to clarify one thing here. I'm looking at the Majority Leader's protocols that you're all supposed to follow, and he says measures proposed to be considered through a motion to suspend the rules shall be publicly available in electronic format for 3 days prior to consideration. You keep on saying 24 hours.
As I said,
Mr. Cantor says,
have this made available this evening.
It
should be 3 days before it would be considered.
So if it's available tonight at midnight, you're counting that as a day?
It would comply with a 3-day.
Yeah, I mean, this is an unbelievably heavy-handed approach, and we are all cut out of this process on a very important piece of legislation. And to the best of my knowledge, none of us, Ms. Slaughter, who's the chief author of this, has been cut out of the process. We know no one in our leadership who is being asked for their input, and we're going to be given something tonight, and if we don't like it, too bad. We're going to have it's going to be up under a suspension. That's not the way we should be doing business around here.
Vote occurs in the Slaughter Amendment.
Mr. Chairman, just may I ask a question for just my own edification here? What kind of process would I be left to offer my bill?
Well, what I have said is that your input is certainly welcome as this.
No, I'm not talking about my input. I'm talking about.
Well, obviously, if this measure is considered under suspension of the rules, we don't know exactly what that bill will look like. And
that certainly by itself is pretty damning.
It's damning to not know exactly.
You know, I want to be really honest here.
Yeah. It is possible that. Let me just, if I could, let me just say that. I mean, they're taking this action in no way preempts the Rules Committee from dealing with this measure under a rule. I mean, that's still possible. This is just, again, I use the word flexibility to say that this does provide flexibility so that we could possibly have the option of having a vote on this measure under suspension of the rules. This does not guarantee that that's going to be the case.
Well, inasmuch as the Stock Act was snatched away from Mr. Bacchus about ready to vote out the markup, I don't see it going through committee process again to come back up here. But I feel I must say this, that because it is necessary to come, what it is we're doing here, we're trying to open up the process and make it more honest and so more transparent. And yet we've gone through this convoluted mess here like I've never seen in my life. The editorial support alone for this bill and the number of papers all over the place that support it, for the life of me, I don't know why you would bring down vituperation on your head I mean, even the New York Times said over the weekend that the devil was going to be in the details of what you people did here. So people are watching.
Right.
I don't know why you're willing to pay such a price. I don't understand it. There's nothing in here, as I said before, nobody benefits. Everybody does the right thing. Citizens feel better about us. They know what we're doing. We don't have to worry about anybody else sullying our reputation if we're all playing by the same rules. For the life of me, I cannot understand what there is about this Stock Act that so frightens this House. It's sort of like the payroll tax that we went through before. The Senate, in bipartisan fashion, came up with a bill begging everybody, the Republicans begging everybody over here to vote for it, wouldn't have it for anything. Just would not have it. And then the excuse to go home with that one was, well, it wasn't good enough, it didn't go for a year. From people who couldn't even bear to vote for 2 months. I'm baffled by it.
Well, I appreciate. Let me just say
I wish you would not do that to yourselves.
Let me just explain this rule again.
I know what that rule is. You don't need to do that.
I'd like to explain it for myself again.
Well, good. Maybe it makes some sense to you if you do.
The rule simply extends to Thursday suspension authority, and this obviously is a rule dealing with the item veto issue, and it extends suspension authority. It does not predetermine the outcome, and many of the very legitimate concerns that have been raised, I believe, can be addressed. So the vote occurs on the Slaughter Amendment. Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no.
Aye.
The noes have it.
Roll call, please.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Sessions. Ms. Fox.
No.
Ms. Fox, no. Mr. Bishop. Mr. Bishop, no. Mr. Woodall. Mr. Woodall, no. Mr. Nugent. Mr. Nugent, no. Mr. Scott. Mr. Scott, no. Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster, no. Ms. Slaughter.
Aye.
Ms. Slaughter, aye. Mr. McGovern.
Aye.
Mr. McGovern, aye. Mr. Hastings.
Aye.
Mr. Hastings, aye. Mr. Polis. Mr. Polis, aye. Mr. Chairman.
No.
Chairman, no.
Clerk, report the total.
4 yeas, 8 nays.
And the amendment is not agreed to. I think it's 7 nays, I think.
7 nays.
Thank you. That's why I'm here. The vote occurs on the motion of the gentlewoman from Grandfather Committee. Those in favor will say aye. Those opposed, no.
No.
Have it. The ayes
Roll
have
call,
it.
please.
Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Sessions. Ms. Fox. Aye. Ms. Fox, aye. Mr. Bishop. Aye. Mr. Bishop, aye. Mr. Woodall. Aye. Mr. Woodall, aye. Mr. Nugent. Mr. Nugent, aye. Mr. Scott. Aye. Mr. Scott, aye. Mr. Webster. Mr. Webster, aye. Ms. Slaughter.
No.
Ms. Slaughter, no. Mr. McGovern.
No.
Mr. McGovern, no. Mr. Hastings. No. Mr. Hastings, no. Mr. Polis. No. Mr. Polis, no. Mr. Chairman.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, aye.
Clerk, report the total.
7 yeas, 4 nays.
And this rule will be managed by the gentleman from Lawrenceville, Mr. Woodall,
And Mr. Polis.
and Mr. Polis for the minority. Thank you all very much. At the moment, we have no further meetings, but we will stay in touch. Without objection, the committee stands adjourned.